exactly like he does what's going to be going down in the first scene that they're filming. But that's, again, a rumor. I have not heard anything myself. But something caught my eye. What's that on the tank? What's that on the tank? Let me make it a little bigger so you can see it. What is that? What's that red thing, right? I mean, that to me is very interesting. Now, when I said we were going to talk about a Mephisto tease, right? Some of you are like, oh, it wouldn't be a Marvel project without a Mephisto tease. Well, Mephisto ties in exactly to this storyline. So that's why I'm bringing it up. So yes, we're going to talk about it. We're going to go through all the goodies. Okay, where's my arrow? All right, so let's talk about the comic book history. So in the comic, there is One More Day. One More Day was a very, very famous, infamous to many people, comic book storyline where the powers that be at Marvel decided that it was no fun having their Spider-Man character, Peter Parker, married. That he couldn't date and be a man about town. But he had been married for quite some time in the comics at this point. You think it's the symbol of the Inner Demons, Mr. Negative's group? Maybe, but we'll talk about that. But you think that, let me see. I don't see an Inner Demon sign from the comics. I mean, they wear masks. It might be. Let me see. I don't know why it's red. I don't know how I mean, it looks like Mephisto to me. So let me go through this. But, you know, then, you know, we'll talk about Mr. Negative as you can see at the end. But it's going to be weird if Mephisto isn't in this story. So let's just talk about it. Maybe it's red because Mr. Negative is supposed to be what? He's supposed to be Chinese, right? And so there's the flag for, you know, Chinatown. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so let me just go through this, though. But maybe, I feel like, you know, maybe it is Mr. Negative, right? Let me get the Mr. Negative image up here. So as you can see, Mr. Negative does have these henchmen who wear these masks. But that doesn't look anything like that mask. Right? And why would it have devil horns? All right. Let me just talk about Mephisto just to get it in here. Okay, because he does have a history with this title. So, in the original comic, the editors wanted Peter Parker to be single again so that he could date and have romantic storylines. So they decided to have Mephisto, for him to strike a deal with Mephisto to save Aunt May's life. And what the deal was is that he had to give up his marriage. And that, he didn't sell his soul, he sold his marriage. And he was no longer married to Mary Jane Watson, and they had no memory of it either. Now, what's interesting to me is that that's kind of the ending of No Way Home, where he's lost his relationship with MJ, right? He's living on his own. He's lost everything. And it's a little bit similar to how that story ended. And then, of course, there's the actual brand new Day comic, which was the follow-up to One More Day, which showed what Peter Parker's new life was like after that magical deal had been struck. So there's a correlation in following up, One More Day with the Brand New Day comic to following up a very similar story, ending at the end of No Way Home with Brand New Day, which also has Peter Parker establishing a new life for himself under new rules with the love of his life no longer involved. I'm glad Sebastian agrees with me. Okay. All right. So then, of course, some of you have pointed out Mephisto just joined the MCU, right? And in fact, Mephisto has just joined the MCU, played by Sacha Baron Cohen at the end of Ironheart, and Kevin Feige said we would be seeing more of him. In fact, Sacha Baron Cohen has just been working out and is on the cover of Men's Fitness or whatever in the UK, I think, to get his Marvel physique. Kind of lines up with the filming, don't you think, of No Way Home? So I think there may be a chance that he could be in here. Let's see, you know. Maybe he makes a deal. Maybe Tom Holland makes a deal with Mephisto to get everything back that he lost at the end of No Way Home. Maybe he makes a similar deal. Who knows? But I just feel it's a lot of coincidences. And I can understand why some of you think that that is Mr. Negative's symbol. Maybe it is. But to me, that looks like a devil symbol. It does not look at all like the Chinese cultural aspects of Mr. Negative. You know, even down to the devil horns, which just, you know, doesn't, you know, that doesn't seem to fit to me with Mr. Negative. But, you know, maybe they're reimagining Mr. Negative. Maybe Mr. Negative works with Mephisto. You know, Mephisto is making a lot of deals in Chicago, but, you know, he can easily get to New York, I'm sure. But let's see what they decide to do. I don't, you know, maybe you guys are right.